just like I can't remember if I've ever like sat down and told my story, like ever. So I thought I should. And so, hey loves. I mean, by now you either know who I am or have an idea. But to tell you the truth, some days I wonder who I am. So I'll just say I'm Kenya, or King Lachelle, or whatever you want to. Coach Kenya. Most people call me Coach, but my name is Kenya. I am from the Midwest, I guess you could. No, the Mid-East, I guess, because I'm from Kentucky, because it's not really the South. I don't know. I'm from Kentucky. I don't know really what significantly I could say about my childhood, only that I know that it shaped me to be sitting in this chair to tell you the story today. My life has been filled with like a lot of pain and trauma, but I know without a shadow of a doubt that I also have had a lot of great times and a lot of beautiful experiences that has always renewed my faith in people and in love. But one thing that has just chronically behooved me my entire life has been my weight. And so that's what this is about. So, yes, I've lost over 470 pounds. And I've done it really, sometimes I can't explain it. You know, I can tell you where I started. I can tell you how I got there, how I started here, and where I'm at today. You know, my recovery tells me to talk about my experience, strengths, and hopes. And I have experienced what they truly call obesity. And my strengths, I've drawn tons of strengths from this process of really having to deal with my issues and these hopes. And today, after battling about 15 straight days of chronic pain, you know, I come to you with my experience and some strengths I was able to gain and some hope. But primarily how I got here. And just to give you a quick synopsis of how I got here, because I want to keep this video under about, let's see if we can do it in 5 minutes. And so, 5 minutes. So, I'll tell you how I got here. So, 10 years ago, you know, almost to date, 10 years ago, I had, for 4 years prior to that year, I had been ill. You know, it started with a surgical procedure, a medical error, a miscommunication about my surgical procedure, which led to my body rejected medication, and that medication caused me to have some strokes and seizures, which initiated my paralysis, and which I had to learn how to walk again. And then after that, I started getting blood clots, and from those blood clots, I got sicker and sicker and sicker. I began to take steroids and issues with my lungs, and the health goes on. And then from lungs and blood clots and all types of infections and congestive heart failure, I rolled into this acute steroid-resistant asthma. And so I started showing signs of allergic reactions to steroids. It caused this steroid myopathy in the entire lower part of my body. So I was basically a paraplegic. So I was paralyzed from the waist down. It was crazy. Like, I couldn't tell when I had to pee or nothing. I couldn't feel anything. You could sit on my legs, you could poke them, prick them. I couldn't bear no weight on there. Like, I knew they were there, but they could not hold weight. Like, I knew they were there, but they couldn't bear weight. And it was frustrating. And I spent that for 4 years. I battled that journey. And so in the process, I was actually stuck in a hospital bed, going in and out of long-term care treatments, nursing homes, in and out of hospital, often on intubations and all types of stuff. I mean, things that you could not imagine I had battled through. And I had also gave up. I was not trying to fight. I was no longer wanting to live. I wanted to die. I was praying to die. And, you know, if you ask me, I was basically unaliving myself with food. Suicide, unaliving, whatever's legal. I don't want to get blocked. I don't want there to be an issue with my video. But I literally was utilizing food to eat myself to death. I recognized that the food was causing me to be chronically ill, that the constant eating, feeling overly stuffed, the inflammation from all of the processed foods, because I was just laying in the bed. But I couldn't stop eating. And, I tell you that when I was a little girl, I suffered a lot of trauma. And that trauma, one of my first responses to trauma when I was a little girl was through food and alcohol. And that was a constant throughout my entire life. I coped with life through eating. So basically what was happening, it was now I'm stagnated in a hospice bed, in a long-term care bed, in a hospital bed, never in my own home. I went 4 years where sometimes I wasn't in my home for nothing but maybe 2 weeks out of the year. It was a horrible experience in and out of hospitals. It was traumatic for my ex-husband. It was a horrible, horrible, horrible experience, You had to be there. You had to be there to know the chaos and drama that my body was causing me to live through. But also I had contributed to this behavior, but I couldn't see it. It was as if I could not see that I was the culprit to this conditioning, that my body was responding to these behaviors that I was soothing that were mentally occurring. See, I was emotionally in pain because I had to stop running. I couldn't run from the trauma. I couldn't run from the stuff, the incest, the pain, the abuse, the domestic violence, the dysfunctional family, the incest, the drama, the chaos, the codependency, the alcoholism. I couldn't run from it. The food addiction, the food disorder. I could no longer run. I was caught. Dang. And if you are a woman who utilizes success and busyness to cope with the pains and the traumas of your existence, baby, let me tell you something. God forbid you get slowed down, because if you get slowed down and you have to feel that thing happening to you, you are going to almost lose your mind. Yeah, you think you eat now. You're going to be eating something terrible, because you're going to have to stop that pain, because see, you ain't going to be moving. You ain't going to be running to exist. You ain't going to be running to be. You ain't going to be running to do. You ain't going to be running to handle. And you're going to have to deal with your stuff. And baby, it's going to come hitting you like a sheep in the night. It's going to smack you around and slam you down. And before you know it, you're going to be eating or not at the beat of every feeling. I know, because I did it. In 10 months, I gained 389 pounds. The chaos inside my head, the feelings and emotions of the things that occurred in my life was taking me out through food. Oh, I was sick now. I'm sick, don't get it wrong. I'm terminal, or whatever they say. I'm not terminal, I'm gonna say chronic. I like to say chronic, but the truth of the matter is there was no treatment. So because the effects of this condition can't be treated, it's considered terminal, because I'll die from the condition of this, right? Girl, I already died a couple times, so it's factual. Don't worry about it. That's not why we're here. See, we came here to talk about how that food and them emotions that were unresolved had me out in these streets, willing to eat myself to death, willing to give everything up over a feeling about things that was not even happening to me anymore. You see, the entrapment in my thoughts began to drive me crazy. And the only way, because I was stagnant, I was unable to move. Remember, I was paralyzed from the waist down. I utilized food to shove those feelings away, and I had nowhere to go. So I was trapped. I was a prisoner in my own body, trying to eat myself out of my cell. But I couldn't get free until I ate myself into the dark abyss of being told I had about 30 days to live. Just imagine eating yourself to the point of being given a death date. My God. So I hope it sets somebody free, because I'm nervous as heck telling you this story. I hope it sets somebody free. See, what had happened is those unresolved feelings of, oh, you need to get over it. Oh, it's not happening to you now. Oh, you need to heal. You want to be with your family so bad. You want to have that family connection so bad that you are willing to never, ever validate your own existence through accepting your reality and your truth. And it is eating you alive from your core to your mouth. Help people understand that you can be healed. Because what just happened to me in the last 16 days, there was some type of healing happened in my mind. I discovered some things about my journey and about me and about what pain does to my mind. Because, see, I have chronic pain. I'm always in pain. And what I've noticed is when the pain reaches a certain point, see, I don't know. I think I should go live about that. The point of this is my story about my weight loss. After eating myself to 592 pounds, to the point where I needed multiple seats on an airplane. I needed a flight friend to fly with me back home so that I could die back home. Like, listen, if you ever knew the details of what I've been to and you struggling to get on your weight loss journey, baby, you would run. You wouldn't walk. You would run. Probably not only to my website, but you would run to start healing yourself. Because, see, you out here thinking this about cutting sugar and going on watermelon diets, baby. And this thing is about healing your entire existence from the soul to your tongue. And see, a lot of us have disconnected ourselves from our behaviors related to food and dieting and wanting to be thin and wanting to look the part and, and wanting to, that we've missed the buck in terms of just sitting down and being validated. And I'm not saying that that what I'm explaining is when you struggle with your weight and you recognize you are an emotional eater, it is nothing wrong with actually addressing the emotion. Gyms, calorie counting, injections, and surgeries, I'm sorry, baby, doesn't heal emotional eating. Although you think it does because it cuts your cravings, but your cravings don't cut your emotions. That's why we sometimes begin to deal with things like body dysmorphia and those other things, because our mind needs answers. And because our body associates feelings, sometimes the feelings we're having today have really nothing to do with today's issues or concerns and more to do with feelings from way back when. But because we're not really sure how to sit down and identify and connect it, because everybody want to think everybody done had these touching experiences. No, that's not everybody's truth. So stop saying that. Stop saying all big people been molested. Stop saying that. We got to stop stereotyping, Because you latchkey kids, that's an emotion too. Coming home and having to raise your siblings, having to grow up early, those are all emotions. And those things create feelings about ourselves, okay? So I'm not out in these streets trying to tell nobody that everybody was touched and they need to go talk about it and discover it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there are emotions sometimes from our past that are connected to things that happen today. And because they align and our brain thinks they're similar, our body has the same response. It doesn't know better. So we have to teach it better. So we have to find the emotion, find the connection, and then teach our bodies different. And at the same time, we have to focus on how we should fuel our body instead of how it feels to have food in our body. We change the definition, and that's what I've done. So you always ask, have I lost weight? I did so by first addressing my nutrition. I realized I was diagnosed with severe malabsorption when I was laying in that hospital bed. After having multiple tests done, they learned that I wasn't absorbing any of the medication. And as a result, I start creating allergic reactions to a lot of meds because they were sitting in my stomach and building up. Undigested. And then we learned that the food that I was eating, I wasn't absorbing any of it. It was basically being pushed out of me. And so, although I was getting treatment to get better, everything I was doing was working against my actual body. So as I began to get some more information about the things that were going on with my body, after literally allowing the medical industry, and I ain't knocking I'm not knocking the medical industry. I believe that they contributed to saving my life too. After not being able to find a way out medically, I basically walked away from all kind of modern medicine and start looking at everything natural. And so as a result, I began to utilize the Isogenics nutritional supplement. I'm not ashamed to give the name of that company because it truly has contributed to one of the reasons why my body has been able to heal itself, renew DNA, remove damaged cells and toxins that were causing those cravings, burn visceral fat. It's been a plethora of benefits that I've gained from utilizing this nutrition. And I truly believe when you understand the science You're willing to make the sacrifices necessary to ensure that your body can be fueled with the right things. And as a result, I fuel my body with nutritional supplements and I eat food. So I don't diet. I eat just like you do. A person that weighs about 100, 150 pounds. You know, I'm active and I eat like you do. You know, I go out and I indulge in things that I enjoy, but I don't overindulge. I watch for emotions connected to my behaviors related to food. I'm aware that I, King Lachelle Elliott, am a food addict and I always will be a food addict. I am also an alcoholic and I will always be an alcoholic. For me, I can eat food until I'm drunk. I eat food alcoholically. So therefore, it is no option for me but to maintain my sobriety by making the choice of healing my mind over my body. For me, the size of me makes no difference if my mind is not engaged in this game and getting addressed on a daily basis. And I know this to be true because I eat for how I feel, not for what I fuel. But the journey I've been on has taught me that if I eat to fuel my body better, instead of to make my body feel better, then the results is this: 579 pounds total. I have gained a few of those pounds back because when I'm really thin, it hurts. It's way more painful. And so as a result, I do need to really be conscious even today because I do live attached to a disease that is triggered by certain things. And I will not give this disease anything to be fed off of. For me, I have truly come to believe that there are 3 components that you must address in order to lose weight, lose fat, regain a whole healthy version of yourself, and to walk a different lifestyle. Now, I didn't say journey. I didn't say weight loss journey. I said lifestyle, because what you want to do is adapt a whole new lifestyle. You yourself want to walk into a brand new concept of how you exist. Nothing about the old you is connected to the new you. You disconnect from the belief systems, both environmentally, culturally, okay? Environmentally, culturally, and emotionally, okay? You disconnect from your beliefs about food. You disconnect from your beliefs about dieting. And you disconnect your beliefs about who you are in those roles. And then you go on a journey to start forgiving yourself for all the mistakes you've ever made in terms of all the other diets, journeys, attempts you've had or have not had. And in the process of forgiving yourself, you pick up a whole new concept and a perception of who you get to be. And it has nothing to do with the number on the scale. You weigh yourself once a month. You don't be out in these streets weighing yourself every single day just to get by. No, we not walking by no number no more. We walking about sight and feeling because we doing what it is necessary to be doing at 80, right? Right? Because if I'm doing basic everyday things to maintain a healthy lifestyle today, it means when I'm 80, I can do that same thing. So I don't have to be on a journey where I'm going to just do it for right now and then I can stop. So now I'm able to avoid yo-yo dieting. I no longer do things that are wrapped around and connected solely to another person. I have a community of tools that I utilize to reach my wellness goals at all times. So that if something like what happened with COVID-19, where no one could go to the gym or leave their homes, I know how to get up and work out in the middle of the living room. I know how to walk around my house. I know how to walk around the block. I know how to sit quietly and meditate. Because I don't have access to the items, I no longer run to food anymore. I seek the knowledge within myself, and I thrive to find a new way to continue to pursue my better version of me. This is what I do daily. As a result, today, from my journey, I share those experiences with you. I come from my deathbed to my destiny, from my pain to my purpose. I show up just as King Lachelle, sober. It'll be 4 years, July 11th, but I'm not stealing a day. Okay? I show up in front of you sober, vulnerable, sharing with you my experience, strengths, and hopes through all of the versions of my programs, my meal plans, and my journey, so that not just you get inspired, but you inspire yourself to be motivated enough to move And because of that motivation, you walk into a journey of willingness. Because motivation will get you started. But willingness, that's what keeps you going. Thanks. Love you guys.